Hey everyone, and welcome to After Hours. Tonight, I have got a super fun project for you. I am going to be working on this super duper cute gnome quilt block. This is a paper piece pattern, and this comes from Julius Handmade Crafts. And this is how it comes. This is super duper cute. It is available on his Etsy shop. So it is down in the description below. You can click on that link, and that will take you to his Etsy shop where you can purchase the pattern, and we're going to work on bits and pieces of it this evening. What's really cool about this pattern is that it is, again, a digital download, so you can buy it right now from his Etsy shop, download it, and start working on it because you can stitch on that regular paper. I am alone here on set tonight, but Mom is behind the camera. Mom, say hello to the people.
Hey everyone.
She is behind running all of the different cameras for this fun event that we have going on this evening. As always, before we get started, please make sure you are subscribed to our channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, it's going to be right down at that bottom right-hand corner. After you click on that subscribe button, make sure you click on the little bell that shows up so you can get notified whenever we post all new things here at Linda's. And then if you're watching on any of our other platforms, please make sure you're following and liking those platforms so you can stay up to date with everything. Mom, are we ready?
Yeah, I'm super excited to see the paper piecing. You taught me some of that this week and it was super fun. So I can't wait to see what you have in store.
Cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's take a look at this piece. So Mom's going to transfer over those cameras for us and we'll be good to go. So this is that super cute gnome that I'm talking to you about. And this is the fully pieced section. Now this comes out finished at about 8 by 14. So a really cool, easy project to do. And you can do a bunch of them if you would like, even piece them together, maybe create a cute table runner, which would be a lot of fun. In the background here, I've got a new fabric that I found at Market. We will have it soon available on our website.
Yes, I cannot wait. A super fun shimmer fabric. It's going to be in a 45 and all kinds of different colors. You're going to love to piece with this stuff.
So it has that beautiful metallic shimmer to it. I'm using that deep blue to kind of mimic the snow that's behind him. However, if I can get my stock over here, these are the incredible colors that it will be coming available on our website shortly. So make sure you are signed up for our newsletter.
Yes.
So you can stay up to date with everything going on, especially when we bring in new products. That's where we announce them. And golly, look how beautiful those are.
That's why they call it shimmer.
That's why they call it shimmer. Really, really cool. In the top here of his hat, I'm using a fabric that we have available on our website. This is called Knit Happy, and it comes in 4 different colors. This way that I'm using, it is a maroon, gray, black, and white. But it comes in so many other ones. But tonight we're going to be looking at just the black, white, gray variation. And then I've got a few other options here as well that I've got. You can also use some great fabrics out of your stash as well. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay. So what we are going to do is I've already got the, actually, let's show the pattern first. How about that, Mom? That sound
That's
good?
probably a good idea.
All right. So this is that pattern that I said you can purchase off of Julius's Etsy shop. The big thing about these patterns is you do want to make sure you're printing them at 100%, and you can do them on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. Okay. And this is that gnome, again, finishing at 8 by 14. You've got the cool custom coloring and piecing instructions here, along with how to piece it together on the right-hand side. Now, remember when you are looking at this, this is from the front on this diagram, so you can kind of see exactly how you want to color it out. The next few sheets are going to be the actual pieces that you're using for paper piecing. So if you decide you want to change these colors, you don't necessarily have to color out this whole graph if you don't want to. You can easily follow the color range and just switch your fabrics, however you would like to do so. So again, printing these at 100%, and you're going to come in with your scissors, and you want to go ahead and start narrowing down these units. So what we're doing is just trimming, not super close to that solid line, but just trying to take away some of that excess fabric, excess paper.
Yep. So we're printing this on regular copy paper, right?
This is just regular printer paper. There are different options that are available out there for paper piecing, like newsprint or different things like that. It's completely up to you, but I'm just going with stuff that I think most people have at home, which is just going to be that standard copy paper. But you're just going to trim down those units, and you're going to trim all of them down, again, close to that solid line that's on the outside, but you don't have to be right on it because you'll use that for lining up later. Once you've trimmed all of those down, they're going to end up looking like this. Now, I have the first 3 pieces. I've got A, B, and C left to do. I've already done the other ones ahead of time for us, but I just want to go ahead and lay this out so you have an idea of how this is going to look. So here's his little feetsies. That goes right there. I'm totally doing this without the map, but that's okay.
Well, I think the idea of the paper piecing, from what my understanding is, just to kind of get those separate quadrants pieced together. And then at that point, you put them all together.
Correct.
It's like a puzzle at that point.
Correct. Definitely like a puzzle at that point. So you can see he's already coming together right here, a little off center, but that's okay. He's already coming together right here. And then these are those nice backs of them that we're going to be stitching directly on those lines. So let's jump into our first piece and kind of walk ourselves through how we're going to do this. So we're going to start with letter A in this point. And Mom, I need a postcard, please. Can you grab me one?
Yes.
It's right underneath my monitor. Thank you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this first section. I'll start with A. And underneath A, I can see that it might be a little harder to see on camera because it's a little further away, but it's going to be numbered, and this section is A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're making sure that we are going in the same order that those numbers are listed, because these designers spend a lot of time making sure the correct order happens so you can get these laying and placed perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over where the graphic is on the back. And I'm going to grab a little tape gun that I have, a double-sided tape gun to use. If you don't have it, you can also use a glue stick, little washable glue, and that'll work just as well. And I'm going to place that double tape or that glue on the back of A1. Just put a little strip right there. Okay. Now this yellow is going to be this knitted fabric that I'm working with. So I'm going to grab that fabric. I like to trim my fabric down just a little bit when I'm going, because this is a lot of fabric to work with. But I'm going to trim this down just a little bit. I'm going to use my amazing Linda's fabric scissors to trim down this piece. I am not worried that this is directional. I kind of liked the way that it ended up overall with the random directionality of this knit fabric. Kind of gave it a crocheted look for his hat, which was super cute. I will iron and starch my fabric. It makes it a little easier to work with. Okay, y'all aren't ready. Mom, are you ready for this? Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen this one yet.
So I saw this at market and I had to pick one up, and we carry them on our website. This is the Quilter Select cutting mat. And on the other side is a wool pressing mat.
No way.
I know. Stop. It's amazing. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to apply some best press to this. And I am going to use my iron and press that down. Let that press out. Maybe give it a tad bit more best press. And then press it out again. The one thing about this double-sided wool and ironing mat here is if you are using steam in your iron, please make sure that you cool down the mat before you flip it over. We'll flip that right back over.
Well, and I think I just found the little code for it too. So.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. So what we're going to do with our first fabric, again, we're starting on A1 right now, this very first section. If it is a printed fabric or a solid fabric, you do want to make sure that the pretty side is facing down on your first piece. So I've got that pretty side facing down. And the first thing that I am going to do is apply my my paper on top and try to cover that full A1 section and maybe about 1/4 of an inch off of it as well. Can pull the paper back just to look all around. That's good. We're going to go from 1 to 2. So in this point, I'm going to grab my postcard, lay that right on the line that comes between 1 and 2, flip over my paper, fold that over that postcard, and I'm going to grab my add 1/4 ruler, Love these rulers because they have a little lip on them, which is great for paper piecing. We have these available on our website in the 6-inch and the 12-inch. You definitely want to grab both of them, and they are on our website. They're both in yellow.
If you want to move your mat up a little bit, I got the QR code for them.
Oh, perfect.
All right, there.
Okay, so I've got that. So I'll have that pressed up against that postcard edge, and then I'll grab my Famore rotary cutter and slice right through that. This is a little further away from me. I've got that sliced right through. So I can set this fabric off to the side because I will probably end up using it later. And it looks like 2 is that blue background. So I've got some of that blue and I've already got it starched and pressed. So I will trim it real quick. Just like that.
And I put the code up on them, and I'll come back at the end and we'll definitely put the codes up again for you. We just don't want you to miss what he's doing.
Oh, perfect. All right. So remember our first one that we did, the pretty side of the fabric was facing down towards our cutting mat. Okay. Now everything going forward for the rest of this unit will be pretty side up. Okay. So with that fold, I'm going to find a section that I can line up to as best as possible. Okay. I'll flip this paper back over, and I want to double check that 2, when folded, is covered completely by the fabric. I love this technique. A great friend of mine, Brooke Veal, we're going to be doing some amazing things with her. This was something that she showed me, and it's changed my life when it comes to paper piecing. So shout out to Brooke because I know she's watching, probably on Facebook. Okay, now this is a little bit of a longer section that I can work with. I'm still going to use my 6-inch out a quarter, grab my rotary cutter, trim this down, and let's trim past that. Just like that, okay? I'll remove my postcard. I'm going to hold these pieces nice and steady, and I'm going to head over to my sewing machine. And what I'm going to do before I get there, I want to show you. If I open this up, we're going to open this up at the machine. Make sure our fabric pieces are still lined up nicely. And then you are going to stitch right down that line between A1 and A2. So I keep this folded. That way I can have a good hold on this and take it to my machine. So we're going to head over to the machine. And I'm going to flip that over.
And while you're over there, I'll put those codes back up on the stuff you're using, since we're just kind of looking at you right now.
Hello. So I'm just going to stitch this down. Now I am using that regular copy paper, so I do have my stitch length set at 1.4. Having that tighter stitch allows you to pull out the paper easier. Paper. Allows you to pull out that paper easier. I did it wrong again.
It's
that
okay.
Paper easier when you're done, which is a lot of fun. All right, so once I've got that set, I will trim my threads, come back overhead so you can see that stitch that we've done. And that's what I've got right there. So I just did that nice stitch right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, flip my mat over. Love this mat. Okay, turn this where the pretty side of the paper is facing down.
That is so cool, where you can iron and cut with the same mat.
It's the best.
I didn't even know we had that.
It's really cool. I'm going to grab my Stitcher's Friend. I love this because it does have a seam press on one edge. And I can quickly just press this seam down just to give myself a little peace of mind. And then I'll come through with my iron as well and give that a press over. Just like that, okay? I do have a lot of excess fabric. Nothing wrong with that. I tend to work with a lot of excess fabric as I work through this. Okay, so that was 2. Now we're going to move on to A3. So if we look at A3 is right here, okay? So what I'm going to do is take this section, grab my postcard, lay this on the line right here, give that a fold over, okay? I'm going to grab my out a quarter ruler, just like that, and then I'm going to trim that right there. I'm going to turn this so I've got a better and easier cut for my hand here.
There you go.
There we go. So I add that ruler on right there, grab my rotary cutter, and trim down, just like that, okay? So A3 is that printed knit fabric again. We're going to have that pretty side up. Keep this folded over. Gonna line this up. Now you don't necessarily have to line up with the seam. If you get it to where you need to finagle it, just make sure you're trimming that excess fabric. I just like to work cut edge to cut edge. That way I'm not having a triple cut, but it's completely up to you. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna double check that all of A3, when it's folded over, is covered by the fabric underneath. Now, if you have like a daylight light box or a Caterpillar light box, that is great to use here. So you can have that light shining up underneath it. You're going to hold this, walk it over to your sewing machine. You'll flip that paper back over so it's open and you can see that line. And then you can start stitching. So I'm going to drop my foot. And we're just going to stitch right down that line. Super duper fast, a great way to get super accurate points. And following this method is amazing. Again, I give all my kudos and all my training to Brooke. She is so great. So we're back overhead, and I can grab this, again, give myself a little finger press or use my Stitcher's Friend. Love that for the 10 different uses in this tool. Flip my mat over, press that, give it a good press. And flip it back over again. Okay, so that was A3. So now we're going to be working on A4. So what I'm going to do, grab my postcard, line that up between 3 and 4, fold the the paper over the postcard. Now, if you stitch a little past the lines, that's not a bad thing. You'll just have to pull the paper away from that stitching. You don't need to take the stitches out. You do want that paper to lay nice and flat though, okay? Grab your add a quarter ruler and go to town on cutting that. Okay, just like that. We'll look at what our next one is. It's gonna be blue for that A4. I like to use my scraps, so I found a scrap right here of the blue. Again, remember, pretty side up. Gonna line that bad boy up. I'm checking that I've got enough blue to cover that piece, and I do. Grab those pieces, keep those seams nice and aligned, head over to the machine, and then be sure you open that up and stitch right down that line. So we're gonna come over to our machine.
We'll have to get a camera over by the machine next time.
Yeah, I thought about that after I started getting into this, but we're here, so.
You're over there pretty fast, though.
We're making it work. We are.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we'll take this back over. Flip this. Grab our Stitcher's Friend just to give it a nice, easy press so we know that that press is going the right direction before we take the iron to it. Press that nice. You can see it starting to come together here. Super duper cute as you go. Okay. All right. So try to keep track with me. We were on 4. Okay. So now we're going to move to 5. And these things come together so quick. Now, another cool thing about doing a smaller project like this is you can really take your time learning the technique, but you can also still get a great and beautiful finished project fairly quickly.
Oh, you're going to use the bigger one this time.
I'm going to use the 12-inch this time because I've got more real estate here. Yes, I could trim this right here, but no time. I like more tools.
Yeah, I was enjoying the 12-inch when I was doing this the other night with you.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, so A5 is going to be blue. I don't have enough in my scrap pile, so I'll grab more of it and trim that away. Again, I've already got this pre-pressed and starched, so I will just trim that real quick off here. There we go.
Alrighty, while you're doing that, I'm going to see if there's any questions. We're here live, so if you have any questions, please let us know.
Yeah.
It's a great pace, thorough instructions.
Thanks.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, so we've got A5 again, fold it over. Line this up. Now this is a good point here to see. I've got jagged edges because I just went to town with my fabric scissors. They're absolutely amazing. Again, available on our website. I'm going to line that up kind of however I see fit right here. Just making sure that when this is folded over, all of the fabric covers that piece from the underside of it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my postcard back in, and I'm going to go ahead and trim this down once more. I want to have a nice easy edge and be done. Okay, just like that. Okay, remove your postcard. We're going to grab this and head over to our machine. Flip that paper open and make sure that we are stitching right down that line that is on your paper. Okay, feel free to drop any questions or comments that you have. Again, like Mom said, we are live tonight, so she can get those asked or answered however she wants to do it.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so we're back overhead. I'm going to flip our cutting mat. I'm going to take this, flip this over, use my stitcher's friend, use that seam press just to get a nice, easy, quick press.
That's the best under $5 tool we have.
I'm very focused on ironing here. As you can see, it is a wonderful tool. Again, 10 tools in one. You can't go anywhere without this thing. All right, so I've got that pressed over. Now, from 5, I'm going to bounce over to 6, but I've got a lot of excess fabric here that I don't want to waste. So I'm just going to grab my scissors and trim just like that. Okay, I'll flatten this back down just like that. And then we're going to work on 6. So from here, we were on 5. Now 6 is on this other side. I'm going to grab my postcard, line that up on that line, flip this over, grab your add a quarter, either your 6-inch or your 12-inch, whichever one you grab first. Put your blade for your rotary cutter right up next to that. Slice right through.
Should talk a little bit about that rotary cutter, how easy it is to use.
Oh, yeah. So this is the Femore rotary cutter. I have a different blade on it, but it comes with, the traditional Femore blade. What's really cool about this is inside of this mechanism, it's actually a ball bearing instead of a traditional washer screw mechanism. So in here, there's a ball bearing. Oh, golly, I need to clean this. On the inside there, it's a ball bearing, so it moves really, really nice and super duper smooth as you're cutting, so you're not having to use as much pressure on your wrists or on your shoulders when you're working. Absolute game changer. Okay, so for 6, I have that folded over. I'm going to grab my fabric piece wherever it went. Right here in front of me. Pretty side up. Lining up, making sure that when this is folded over this way, that it is completely covered by fabric underneath it, which it is. Grab this piece. I'm going to head over to the machine. Once I get to the machine, remember, we are opening this up and stitching down that solid line that is available there. So we're heading over to our machine.
Why don't you bring it out a little bit this way?
Hmm?
Show them how you open it up. There you go.
Oh, okay. So it's...
Oops, sorry.
Hello. It's normally like this when we walked over to the machine. We're going to open that up underneath our foot and stitch right down that line.
There you go.
Okay.
And if you leave the mic out of the way, we'll just leave it on there for now.
Okay. So I'll drop my foot and stitch this down. Almost done with our first one, guys. This is a fun little sew along tonight. Okay. So from over here, we can open this up. Do that little press with the press end. I'll flip this over. Love this cutting mat, wool mat duo. And press that down. Just like that. Okay. And there we are. So that is our first unit. That is unit A. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and trim my unit down. This is a good habit to go ahead and get into, get those good paper piecing habits. As you finish your units, I would personally trim them down. So I'm going to take my 6x12 Quilter Select ruler. If you've never used one of these, game changer. One side is that traditional slick surface. One side has that kind of grit, non-slip, and it keeps this whole thing from moving while you're trimming down either these units or just cutting fabric in general. When you are going to make this cut, I'm shifting the ruler a little bit outside of that solid line that's on the outside. Again, little bit on the outside. Okay, holding that in place, grabbing my rotary cutter, and trimming away. Okay, as we're working this around. Now, I would recommend having a separate rotary cutter that has more, maybe a dull blade, so you're not ruining your blade on paper. This one is on its way to be changed, so that's why I'm using it today totally. But you could have a separate one that's made for paper, or not made for paper, but this has more of a dull blade on it.
Well, it's, like a rotary cutter when you're doing your paper piecing.
Right.
So you're not having to replace it near as much, right?
Right,
And
exactly.
then so that way you have your nice one when you're cutting your fabric.
Exactly.
So Rose said, are you doing any back stitching? And I don't think you do back stitching on paper piecing, right? Or
you can do back stitching. So sometimes I actually prefer just to do that regular straight line stitch. If you do the back stitching on it, it may cause your seams to give extra bulk. And when you're trying to put them together, that ends up causing a little bit more thickness than you're wanting. You can definitely do that back stitching, no problem. I would recommend going into a higher weight of thread. You want a little bit of a thinner thread if you're going to do that. So maybe like an 80 weight. Right now I'm using the Aurifil 50 weight that I really, really like, but you could use that Aurifil 80 weight, and that would give you a little bit of a smaller stitch, allowing you to do that back and forth stitching. Good question.
Yeah, which we'll be getting the 80 weight in stock soon.
Yes, I'm super excited about the 80 weight. That's coming. All right, so if we look overhead, that is our first trimmed piece. Woo-hoo! So that is going to be that top portion.
Awesome.
Right there. Cool. Ready to move on to B?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to set that off to the side.
Let me check while you're doing that. I'll check chats. I think we're get caught up on all the questions. Thanks everybody for being on, watching us from all over. We love having you watch us live. Corey was super excited about doing this one live with you tonight. So in the meantime, you'll see me popping up the different things that he's using, just so you can check out the awesome products that we have as well at the same time.
Yeah, we've got a great catalog available on our website, again, lyndas.com. If you're not subscribed to our newsletter, I highly recommend that you do get subscribed. It's a great way to keep up with everything new that's going on here at Lyndas, along with seeing all of our new products, videos, and then my Chief Quilter newsletter, where I talk about all things quilting. All right, so we are on the B section, okay? So B1 is right here. Remember, anytime you start with a new fabric on a new unit, your first fabric that you're doing is always pretty side down. So we're going to flip this upside down.
I feel like you should tell them the way you explained it to me.
So when I was explaining it to Mom and Grandma, actually, I thought it was quite funny because my brother Ryan and I, we always joke about who my mother likes more. It's obviously Ryan. We know that. So the way I get to work my way through thinking about paper piecing is you never want to see the first child, me, and you always want to see the children afterwards, Ryan. Okay. So that's how I think about it. So when I'm working on my first unit, I say, oh, never want to see the first one. Okay. And I always want to see the other ones, Ryan. So I don't know. I just think it's funny. It makes me laugh. And it's just a running joke in our family.
Yeah.
That Ryan and I will always grab Mom's phone and change it to favorite son 1, favorite son 2.
Yes.
We just always mess around.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
As we're going. Okay. So remember, first one, pretty side down. We'll go this way with that. I used that little bit of that double-sided tape, or again, you could use some Elmer's washable purple glue on the back side of it just to hold it in place. We're going to rotate whatever direction we're headed. So 1 to 2 right there. I'll grab my postcard, lie it on the line, fold this over, grab my out-of-quarter ruler, butt that edge right up against it, grab my rotary cutter, trim the excess away. Then we're going to look at what 2 is. So 2 is that blue. So I think we've got some excess. Yeah, that should do it. I like to cut it close with my scraps just because I like to use every piece of fabric that I can.
I know. That's what's kind of nice about the smaller stuff, like the smaller paper piecing. You can use up all those scraps. I noticed that when I was doing it too.
All right. So 2 is completely covered by the fabric that's underneath. Again, everything else after the first one is pretty side up. We're going to grab this and head over to our machine. We'll line that back up, make sure our fabric stays in alignment. Open up our paper. Slide this underneath the foot. We'll drop our foot down. and then we will start stitching. Oh, hi everyone. Mom, why'd you switch it?
Going back and forth.
Okay.
Just to catch you off guard. I got you back down.
I wasn't ready for that. So that's fun. We have a good time here at Linda's. All right, so I've got that right here. That's stitched. I could trim this away, or I could trim all the threads when I'm done. I'm going to, of course, use handy hook and snip. Trim that away just like that. All right, so I'll flip that fabric over, give it a good press, just like that. I'll flip it over with my amazing wool mat on the other side of my cutting mat. This is a 14 by 14 mat, which is great for cutting. And then you've got that wool on the other side for pressing.
And it's Quilter Select mat.
Quilter Select.
Press. And I
yep.
got the code up there for them for a second.
All righty. So we've done 2. Now we're going to move to 3. So what that's going to entail is I'm going to go ahead and actually trim away some of this excess Knit Happy fabric. And you can just see I'm keeping my distance from 1, maybe going about there, and I'm just using my fabric scissors just so I'm not losing any excess. Again, I love to keep my scraps off there to the side. Okay. All right. So we're moving on to 3. Grab your postcard, lie it on the line between the sections you finished and the next section, which would be 3. Now you can see I stitched it a little bit into 3 like we talked about earlier. Just remember when you fold it over, you can see how the fabric is standing up. Just pull that fabric paper away from that, just like that. Fold that line, grab my add a quarter, butt that edge right up against my postcard, grab my rotary cutter, and trim away. So we're going to be using B3, which is that knitted fabric. That's not going to cut it, so we're going to get another piece. Okay. I'll trim some away real quick off my sample here. I love this knit fabric. Again, comes in 4 colors as of recording today. As of being live. We've got 4 of those colors in stock, which is great. Okay. Pretty side up. Fold this. Now this is where one of those jagged edges are here. So still making sure that when this paper is folded, 3 is completely covered. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my postcard again. I'm going to do my 12-inch.
Yeah, I think the 12-inch would be better on this one.
Add a quarter here to keep that nice, smooth piece here. Open and trim. Just like that. Okay. Remove my postcard. Head over to my machine. Once I get to my machine and I have this fabric nice and flat, I'll then open up my paper. I like to travel with it that way. Completely up to you. I think it just gives me better control. Drop my foot and start stitching. Just like that. Trim this away. Flip this back over. Got a lot of tools.
Yeah, you do have a lot of tools there.
Flip this, give myself a nice little finger press here. And this just helps me get it again in the direction that I need it to be before I take the iron to it. Grab the iron and give it a nice final press as well. Just like that. Okay. Now we're moving on to B4. Grab your postcard, line it on the line, and flip over. Add a quarter. Make sure you're covering all of your fabric. Grab your rotary cutter and slice. Next piece we're using is that blue background. Ooh, that's going to be cutting it close. We're going to do it. Okay. So again, keep the paper folded. Let's go this way. Oh, no, let's not go that way. So this is going to be one of those instances right here that I'm kind of MacGyvering this to work. There we go. Right there's good. So I know that it's covered underneath by all of this, and I can pick that up and see it. Okay. But I do want to trim off that excess so it's not trapped in my seam and making a bulky seam, and then I don't have to remember to do it afterwards. Grab my add a quarter again. Trim away that excess, just like that. remove my postcard, head over to my machine, open up that paper, and then stitch down the line.
I think the one thing I noticed when I was doing this the other day is that once you get in the groove of it, you kind of just go, right?
You really do. Like
just-
I'm walking y'all through step
like
by
flip,
step,
flip,
but
flip.
it just
It
you
goes
just
pretty
start
fast.
to really just move through it.
Once you understand the process, because it's totally, I will tell you that I did this when I did this the other day. It's totally different than traditional piecing,
Yes.
but it was fun at the end of it. We had such a, really on point project that I could probably have never done regular piecing without a lot of practice.
Right.
I'm not gonna say can't do, because I could eventually, but without a lot of practice.
Yeah, I will always give kudos to Brooke from Starling Quilting, who got me into this. She's created quite a monster.
She has. I'll come to work and he's piecing. I'm like, what are you doing? We have to be doing this.
I'm always
I got a
piecing them.
piece. I got to do this.
I got a piece. It's just fun. And it's, again, something that I can kind of just get in that kind of mindless thinking, and you really get into a groove of it. Yeah, I'm not going to be that brave. We're going to do the regular piece. We're going to cut some more off as we go. So, Mom, are we having any questions?
No, I think
comments?
everybody's just watching.
Okay. I'm going to press this real quick. Again, we're starching those fabrics, keep them nice and flat. Using Best Press, we have them in the cute little tiny spray bottles here. Different scents are available. I love a good linen fresh, but there's so many different ones: Caribbean, lavender, tea rose, all the good ones, peaches and cream. They just kind of help stiffen up that fabric a little bit. Easier to work with. Nice and flat. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got this. We're going to move on to B5. So flip that over. Take this on. I've got plenty of fabric here. I know it. I will go ahead again and clean up this edge. Just like that. Head over to the machine, flip open the paper, and this is a tiny line right here. All right, while I'm working on this, what are everyone's holiday plans? Thanksgiving is coming up as the time of this live. Thanksgiving is next week, 2 weeks?
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks from now?
Yeah.
What's everybody's holiday plans? What are you doing? Are you staying home? Are you in charge of cooking? Mom's in charge of cooking.
I am in charge of having the house available for the stuff that is cooked to be there.
Mom's in charge of cooking everything. You want to come over? We'll send you the address. Mom loves to cook for everybody.
I just love to hang out with family, right? So we'll have a lot of family, have a big Thanksgiving this year with a lot of family. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. We're just continuing to fold and trimming away.
And what's your holiday plans? What's your favorite thing about the holidays? Let's just kind of chat and see what's going on. Like Corey's just kind of doing this because now it's become repetitive. So we might have some people that have been joining on late though. So you might just kind of show what you were doing after stitch that. And why don't you kind of show what you're doing?
Totally. That is a great thing to bring up. All right, so I'm on my last piece of this. This is B6. Definitely keep maybe like a tick mark box or something next to your machine of what point you're on. When you get into that mojo and that groove of working on this, you'd be surprised how quickly you can skip a piece.
Or you stitch them on top of each
or
other.
you stitched one on top of one another or something. There's a couple of different ways that could go down. Just like that, okay? So I'm going to flip this over, press him, and then we'll trim them away, and then I will show you kind of what that finished product is going to look like, what we're working on here. Got that pressed, back over to my cutting mat, grabbing my 6x12. Remember, again, right on the outside of that line, just barely.
Put the code back up on this one because I love this mat. This is a really cool non-stick mat. So non-slip mat. So it holds it in place.
The ruler?
The mat. Yes. It's a non-slip ruler on the awesome double-sided mat. How about that? It's
All
late.
right,
It's
madam.
late. I'm tired.
I will tell you, I am super thankful. If we're talking about thankful or what we're doing for Thanksgiving, I'm super thankful for my mom because I wouldn't be able to do this stuff without her.
Oh,
It's great to have her helping me all along my way. All right, so there's B. So you can see that he's starting to come together.
look at
How
that.
cute. He's just a baby. All right, so for those of you that had joined on a little bit late, we are working on this cute gnome block. This is a paper piece foundation, paper piece pattern. And this is by Julius Handmade Crafts. I don't know where the title page is, but the link is in the, oh, here it is. There it is. The link is in the description below for this pattern. You can go to his Etsy shop, purchase it. It is a PDF download that you can just print on normal, regular letter paper. Print at 100%, 8.5, 11 paper.
We love supporting small businesses. So
We
Corey, it was
do.
important for Corey to show this pattern for you guys and give a shout out to him.
I love Julius. He has some really cool designs too, like really cool. All right, so that's A, B, and the last one we have tonight to do is C.
Yep, because you already
Okay.
did the other parts.
I've already done the other parts for us. So we're going to do this one rather quick. This one's going to move.
All right, let's go.
And Mom's going to keep you talking.
Let's go. Okay, let's keep talking about what we're going to be doing for the holidays. Let me go back over to the chat while he's doing that. So Brian's going to cook a turkey. Lillian's going to visit home to Massachusetts. And I said that wrong. But the Mass. Let's say the Mass.
It's a mess.
Kathy's going to her brother's house with all of her family. She loved laughter and all the family together. That's awesome. Definitely the food is a plus, Kathy. I think that's the time of year that I do not mind overeating because the food is so good. So good. Rose is going to her brother's this year.
Love that.
Patricia's having dinner on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving with the kids and grandkids. So grandkids are going to be with the other parents home for the whole weekend, which makes total sense, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're grandparents. So, and then we have Alice, which is your grandmother, my mom.
Hi, Grandma.
Family Thanksgiving. Yes, we're going to have a really large family Thanksgiving. I think we have like 35 to 40 people coming. So it should
Like
be
a
lots,
wedding almost.
It should be lots of fun, lots of food, lots of games. We just have fun. And we're going to have the whoever wants to be brave enough jump into the pool and do a polar plunge.
Okay, Mom. Polar.
It's kind
Is
of
it polar though?
next Friday. It's going to be 20 degrees with the wind chill. So the temperature in the lows will be in 30s. So the water will cool down pretty quick by Thanksgiving.
That's true.
I mean, it's already at 70 degrees.
So are you doing the polar plunge?
No, I'm not.
Why not? It's your house. You're the host. The host has to do the activities.
I'll be heating the plunge in the hot.
Okay, madam.
So then, we have, let's see. We have Aunt Chantelli.
Oh, Auntie's watching?
Yeah.
Hi, Auntie.
Says she looks like she needs to have a sewing day with us to learn this paper piecing technique.
It is so much fun and it's so quick. Like really, once you get the mojo down, it is so much fun. Again, I tell you, Brooke created a monster. She's at home cackling on her couch right now, I guarantee you.
And Thyla says that she loves your videos, Corey. And
thank you. Thank you so much for watching.
Julius was actually on here earlier on Instagram and said thanks for doing the pattern. He's going to watch the rerun later. He has to run.
Oh, I understand that. I understand.
But yes, anyway, keep the comments coming. Tell us what you guys are going to be doing for Thanksgiving. If you have some plans, let's go back over here. And
also, I have another question. I would like to know, what is your favorite like sewing or quilting tool or notion? Maybe it's something that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Like, we've got the Atta quarters and we've got these Quilter Select rulers and the Fomori rotary cutters, but what are some other things that you really, really like?
Yeah.
We'd like to hear about that in the comments.
Yeah. No, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Tell us your favorite notions that you like. It's like the must-have notion in your sewing quilting room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way you can share with your friends what it is. And, maybe we need to find that must-have notion.
Maybe.
And start carrying it. So Shelly's going to have a Thanksgiving breakfast instead of dinner.
Oh, sold.
Right?
I love breakfast.
Pecan pie French toast casserole.
Girl,
that
speaking my language.
Good. Yes,
Ooh.
for sure. I agree with you, Brian. That Superior Threads video that Corey and Mickey did was very informational and very good.
Thank you.
So,
I had a lot of fun. That was the first time I had met Mickey.
Yeah.
Very, very, very nice. I mean, everyone's super nice in the quilting industry. But Mickey, she was so informative on some of the threads that like I had heard of, but I haven't really sat down and like learned more about.
Yeah, for sure.
So to get like firsthand knowledge on it was super cool. All right, we are just moving through this.
Yeah, keep talking. We'll get Corey done faster if we're talking. So Gary says, "Happy Thanksgiving" from Gary and Lisa. They're going to be having family come for lunch.
Oh, fun!
So, must have seam ripper.
Oh, you got to have a jack.
So knockoff Wonder Clips. A stiletto.
Oh, Wonder Clips, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think all those things are nice to have. Kathy's asking if we're going to have some Black Friday sales.
Oh, we should talk about that actually while I'm doing this.
You want to come back to the front?
Yeah.
You can do that multitasking?
Yes, I can multitask. I can look up and talk to you every now and then.
Cut.
Yeah, I can look up and cut. That's a great idea. So we will be having some great Black Friday deals. We will also be live over the Black Friday weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Monday for Cyber Monday, we'll be doing stream and shops right here at Linda's. Mom and I will be going over so many different amazing topics. We'll also be having some guests on with us for these stream and shops, which will be really, really cool.
Yep.
Announcing some new products that will be hitting the marketplace for the first time here at Linda's.
Yes.
And we'll be having some great deals and some great giveaways. So make sure you're signed up for our newsletter so you can get up to date and know exactly when it's time to start shopping.
Exactly. Great deals, exclusive items that won't be anywhere else in the
What
marketplace.
number was I on?
I don't know. You're supposed to. You just told them to pay attention. See,
I was on 5.
That's what happens when you double duty.
I was on 5.
I'll go back overhead so they can see what you're doing. So if you're just joining us, Corey's putting a paper piece gnome together. He's almost finished with the top piece, so maybe about 5 more minutes and he'll get to show you the completed, what it looks like.
Section.
Yeah, and then we've been showing all kinds of different product that we have available that he's using. And at the end, he'll show you each piece and we'll pull that QR code up for you again. So
I'm almost done, folks. I just get so
2.
excited.
Yes, you do. You do. Stripology rulers from
Oh my gosh, I love a stripology ruler.
I saw you guys using those and I love them. You know what? I'm going to have to probably get one of those for sure.
I'm working on a project right now that takes 7,400 1.5-inch squares.
Mm-hmm.
That saved my life. That stripology ruler. Okay, so we just did 5. Now we're on to 6.
Keep flipping that mat.
I love this 2-sided mat. I had never seen it before until we went to market. I think it just came out.
Maybe. I don't know.
That might be why.
It's really cool, though.
It's great for if you have a small space, if you're going on retreat. Like at home, I don't really have.
That's a good idea for retreat.
I don't have a lot of space at home. Like you would think I do, but I don't. Like this is about all the space I have, so this is great to have a dual purpose thing.
Well, and then like if you do like a sewing day, like we did the other day with 3 people.
Yes.
This would have been perfect. We had not got them in yet.
Correct. Yeah.
But this would have been perfect for our space. We were like trying to shuffle everything around. So yeah, for sure.
It was quite a production, folks.
We made it work.
We did.
All
right.
Let me go see questions again.
So now we're looking at 6, moving over to the machine, flipping open the paper, and sewing right down the line. Like it's so easy.
I love the lines on them. That does make it easy to kind of stay on that line.
Just like that.
So, and I'm guessing that you're using, what kind of ruler do you have on there when you're doing paper piecing? Sorry, what kind of foot do you have on there?
I have an open foot on mine when I'm doing paper piecing, so it looks like that. So it just has that opening where I can see directly to the line. Any standard foot that you use is fine. I just like that open toe so I can see directly where I'm going.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But completely up to you.
So do you remember the name of the quilt panel that's hanging behind you?
So the panel behind me is called Ethereality. So it's a little blurred out, but
it is blurred out.
It's called Ethereality. It came out from Hoffman.
It's been a few years.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
Really cool pattern. I think some of them are still available on the marketplace. It came in 4 colorways. I think I've only been able to find 1 now on like random Etsy shops. But again, Ethereality. Dream big, Ethereality.
That's funny. It's not focused because it's focusing on you. So it's like psychedelic. It's like,
Oh, yeah, it is.
Woo!
We're in a paper piece trance.
Yeah, exactly. Paper piece strands. There we go.
All right. So since that's the last section of that side, I'm going to go ahead and grab my rotary cutter and just freehand cut that. And I'll leave that. That's fine. All right. So when they have 7 and 8 left, so we're going
Almost
back to blue.
Woohoo! Get to see the final product soon.
We do. We're almost there. Doing
Thanks
great.
everybody that's been on with us, watching us, staying on, coming back. I know this was a long one tonight, but he just really wanted to piece with you guys tonight. We said, why not? Let's have fun.
I just wanted a cute little sew along.
Yeah, little sew along. Let us know if you like these little sew alongs. He'll do more.
I will 100% do more.
I know you will.
You do not have to tell me twice to do more sew alongs. Sew alongs or quilt alongs. We've got some long arm quilt alongs in the works too.
We do. Yep.
Production over there has got me
That's
a list.
My new name.
Her name is Production.
Yeah, Mom is Production.
Mom is Momager.
Mom
She's
is Momager.
Production. She's so many different things. She wears a lot of hats. She's amazing.
I do.
Also, if you are not listening to Corey's Cast on Sundays, you need to. We have a podcast here at Linda's called Corey's Cast, where I interview all sorts of different people in the industry, along with different quilters, business people. I interview Mom quite frequently, actually, and I work a lot with her on different things. But this Sunday's topic is talking about going from hobby to job, or job to hobby, and finding that balance in between. And you get to learn a little bit more about how Mom and I got into this industry.
Yes.
So it's a lot of fun. It comes out at noon every Sunday on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and I think there's one more, but that's where I'm at.
So you got that down. All right, let's stitch that down. Let us know if you guys have any questions. Please put them up.
And just as a reminder again, I am doing the stitch length of 1.4 because I'm using regular printer paper. You could also probably get away with a 1.6, but you definitely want to shrink that stitch down.
Well, that's good to bring up at the end of here too, because we've had a lot of people join since where you're using printer paper here. You know, there's other papers out there that you can purchase, but you could just use. This is just printer paper today. Traditional
printer paper that you can get easy peasy. All right, we're on our last piece. Gonna grab this postcard one last time, line it up on our line, flip over, trim away.
12-inch today.
Yeah, I'll need the 12-inch out a quarter. Love having both of them in my tools, especially when I'm working on smaller pieces. Definitely helps out a lot. All right, grab one last piece of the blue. I'm gonna press one more piece just to make sure I have enough. Just tore this little baby to shreds, didn't I? Using that best press, press that down. Linen fresh. Trim that up just like that. All right, so looking at this. Okay, this last piece, C8, there's a lot of paper here, so we want to make sure that it's covered completely by what we're doing, which it is. So I will go ahead, flip this over. Make sure we are still flat and lined up. Sometimes these pieces can get away from you, so make sure they are all nice and flat before you do any cutting. Ask me how I know. You might lose a piece sometimes. I'm going to put my postcard back in here to trim this down. My 12-inch add a quarter. My rotary cutter. And then I'm going to take this. I know this is a lot of excess fabric. I'm just going to go ahead and take it over and I'll trim it off later. So we're over at our machine, opening our paper, and stitching down our line. Ooh. Boom. All right. So we will flip this over. Go from this side, give this a nice press. with our Stitcher's Friend seam press side, and then I'll grab my iron to give it a final full press. Just like that. Alrighty. Come back, flip this over, grab my Quilter Select. This is a 6x12 ruler. Great for good hand on that. Could apply good pressure, but it also doesn't allow for slippage of the fabric. Trimming those units down. Again, if you're just joining us later this evening, we recommend having a separate rotary cutter, maybe with more of one of your dull blades, so you're not ruining the blade on cutting the paper and the fabric. But this blade is already on its way out, so I figured I might as well just do it.
Shelly said, thanks for the live. She's been avoiding the paper piecing, but now she really wants to try it.
Oh, yay. I'm glad. You're going to love it. You're going to get addicted to it. You're never going to leave your sewing room or your studio. And people are going to come check on you. It's going to be a whole thing. Okay. It's a process.
All right. Let's show the gnome.
All right.
Together.
So that's C. This one's B. Like that. A fits right here. Now, they're not going to do a perfect fit when you lay them out, because you remember you do have to piece these sections together still. Okay. So I've got the rest of him here. These are his feetsies. That's the bottom. That's the top of his hat. Top of his hat. Look at the little nose. Again, this pattern is the Gnome, and this is by Julius Handmade. Again, the URL is in the description below to go to his Etsy shop to purchase this. It is a digital download. Just like that.
There you go.
I think so.
Then, and then
that's
now,
him, right?
Yeah. So then,
let me double check my graphic and make sure G is supposed to be on the left. Yep, I did it. Yay! Love having this graphic. Easier to see things that way. And there he is. So then you would piece these sections together. I'm going to show you how you would put 1 and 2, just one of these together, and you're going to replicate that same process all the way through. Okay. I just want to make sure you have every step possible. Okay.
And why don't you show them the finished product really quick, and then.
So again, this is what the finish is going to look like. He's so cute. Okay. All right. So just to give you a visual of how this is looking, flip my mat back over for us. Okay. If we look at our piecing instructions that he provides, we're going to start putting A and B together first. Okay. So I'm going to lay these out visually so I can see. That's how they would go together. So if I flip that over, that's how I know that's where I'm going to be stitching. And what I like to do is, especially if there's pieces that have to match, like right here, I really want those points to match in his hat so it sits on him nicely. A great trick that I was taught is I can take some pins and pin through into my wool mat, just like this, making sure. And when I pick that up on the other side, I can see if those points line up on the B side. So like right here, I'm a little off, so I could adjust that with that pin to get it exactly where I need it to be. That's better, just like that, okay? All of these down the edges, and I could get this one down the corner and one down the corner here. This is just a quick tutorial for you so you can see it. I would also definitely recommend having some of these, it's called clips, Mom?
Clips, yep.
Clips, we have these available on our website as well. You're gonna clip this down. Make sure this point's good. So you're just going through that inner portion where that color and that line is in the intersection. Let me know when that point lines up beautifully right there. I know it's harder to see on camera, but that lines up beautifully. And I'll grab one of those clips, throw it in there as well. I always over clip just to make sure things line up. Okay. So then what I would do, now that I made sure all my points line up, is I would stitch right down that inner line, not the out solid line, that really dark outer section. I'm not stitching that. I'm going to be stitching right on that inner one, that 1/4 inch in. Stitch all the way down there, take off my clips, and that's going to have my first section. So I'm going to do that real quick for us. Get that all nice and lined up. When you get up to those points, I'm going to apply a little extra pressure on this so nothing slips when I take off that clip. I will keep stitching. Trim that off. And voila. Look at those. This matches up perfectly. Just like that. Okay. And you would work your way through this entire piece, following those piecing directions. And then once you're done, you get to pull off the paper on the back. I find it therapeutic. Mom says no, but I find it therapeutic. I love using the tweezers that come in my hook and snip tweezer set. These are great to get in and grab those pieces because they're really long and you can see things. And then they help with pulling off the paper and you get this beautiful finished piece.
Well, let's show them all the supplies that you use to make this beautiful piece and paper piecing.
Oh, okay. So starting with the main attraction, this is the 14 by 14 Quilter Select cutting mat on one side, wool mat on the other. All the things that I'm about to talk about, except for one thing, is available on lyndas.com. So I will show all the stuff that is, and then we'll show the one thing that isn't.
And if you jump over there and look for the mat and it's on pre-order, that just means it's been so popular, but we'll have them in just a couple weeks.
Woohoo! Awesome.
So definitely order it and it'll get shipped to you ASAP.
For sure. So this is that 12-inch out of quarter ruler. I also have a 6-inch out of quarter on our website. They are both in yellow. Okay, those are the ones that are available.
Okay, I got the 12-inch up there for them if they
Oh,
want to scan.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were doing that. My apologies.
Yep, that way they have the chance to see it and scan it if they're interested in it. And then I'll take that one off and do the 6-inch now.
Okay, so that's the 6-inch one. Again,
the 6-inch is yellow on our.
Yes, they're both yellow on our website. I just happened to come across the pink one when I was buying mine, so that's what I grabbed.
Okay.
But they're both on our website, so the 6-inch and the 12-inch. The next thing that I used was that Famore rotary cutter. Really, really nice to have. Absolutely amazing when you're using different things. Just like that. Again, I do have a different blade in mine. It comes with a standard silver blade, but that doesn't affect the amazing usage of the rotary cutter.
You're just using a dull blade on your paper.
Correct. Yes.
But it comes with an awesome Famore blade with the ball bearing. It's awesome.
Correct. Got that. The next thing that I use a lot of is the Stitcher's Friend.
I don't have a code for that, but it's over on our website called Stitcher's Friend.
So this is 10 tools in one. You've got a 45-degree measuring, different seam guides, press, all sorts of things on this. Love that Stitcher's Friend. I used our Linda's fabric scissors today. These are absolutely great, super duper sharp, have a great handle hold to them for cutting your fabric, just like that. Yep. Okay. I also used our Quilter Select 6x12 ruler. This is that non-slip on one side, again, available on our website, lyndas.com. And I think, Best Press.
Yep.
Used our little Best Press bottles. Again, they come in a bunch of different scents. The one I used tonight was Linen Fresh. And then last but not least, I did use my hook and snip tool and tweezer set. And y'all have been loving this. I have to thank you so much. It really means a lot to see these flying off the shelf. They're a great, great tool set that's available. And then the one thing that we don't carry on our website that I use is that double-sided tape gun that I got off of Amazon. But you could also use Elmer's washable purple glue. Just like that.
All right, I'm going to pull it back to the front.
Great. Well, I hope you had fun this evening, tonight on After Hours, going through so many different things with me and taking a look at the beautiful Gnome paper piece block. Again, available by Julius Handmade Crafts. The Etsy link is in the description below. Go there, grab this pattern. You're going to love it. Again, really cool. It's a PDF. You can print it out a couple of different times and make different versions of him.
Yeah, everybody said hi. They thought it was so cute, adorable.
Thank you.
Your Aunt Gina said hey.
Hi, Auntie.
And so we are Doing good. Let me check over Instagram. Okay. I think I've answered all the questions. We've talked to everybody.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight on After Hours. I know this was a little bit of a longer one, but I think this little sew and go thing was fun. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time. Bye.